I need to ask you something, and I want you to really think before you answer. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you completely trusted? Not just hurt, not just disappointed, truly betrayed. The kind of betrayal that makes you question everything. Every memory, every moment, every word they ever said to you. I have, and for a long time I didn't talk about it, because betrayal is the kind of pain that feels like it belongs only to you, too personal to share, too raw to say out loud. But today, I am here with my mother, and my father, and my brother James, and we are going to talk about it, because you deserve to hear the truth, about what betrayal really does to a person, and more importantly, what you do with it after. Mom, you have seen more than any of us. Where do we even begin?
My darlings, we begin with the truth. And the truth is this: betrayal is not just something that happens to you. It is something that changes you. If you let it change you in the wrong direction, it makes you hard, suspicious, closed. If you let it change you in the right direction, it makes you wise. And wisdom is the only good thing betrayal can ever give you. I have been betrayed, not by Chester. Chester has never once betrayed my trust in 41 years. But before Chester, I was betrayed in a way that took me years to recover from. I was 25 years old, and I was deeply in love with a man named Marcus. You have heard me mention Marcus before, but today I am going to tell you something I have never said fully. Marcus did not just leave. Marcus was with someone else, while he was with me, for months, and I did not know. I found out the way women always find out. Not because he told me, not because he had the courage to be honest. I found out from someone else, a mutual friend, who assumed I already knew, who said something in passing, and in one sentence, my entire world shifted. Not collapsed, shifted. Because that is what betrayal does. It does not destroy the ground beneath you. It tilts it. And suddenly nothing feels level anymore. Nothing feels certain. Not the past, not the present, not even your own memory. Because you go back. You replay everything. Every evening he was busy. Every time his phone lit up and he turned it over. Every moment he was slightly distant and you told yourself you were imagining things. And you realize you were not imagining things. You were right. And that is almost the worst part. Not that he lied, but that you knew. Somewhere deep inside you knew, and you convinced yourself otherwise. My darlings, the betrayal of someone else is painful, but the betrayal of your own instincts is the wound that takes the longest to heal. I spent months after Marcus angry, but not just at him, at myself, for not seeing it sooner, for making excuses, for loving someone who treated my love like something disposable. And then one day, something shifted inside me. I was sitting alone in my apartment, and I thought to myself, he did not betray me because I was not enough. He betrayed me because he was not enough. Not enough honesty, not enough courage, not enough character. And that thought, that single thought, was the beginning of my recovery. My darlings, betrayal says nothing about your worth. It says everything about the character of the person who chose it. Remember that. Write it somewhere if you have to. Betrayal is never a reflection of your value. It is always a revelation of theirs.
I need to say something, and it is not easy to say. I have been on both sides of betrayal. I have been betrayed, and I have been the one who betrayed. You heard some of my story in our Red Flags video, but today I want to go deeper. Because betrayal is not just a red flag. Betrayal is a choice. And I made that choice more than once. There was a woman I truly cared about. Let's call her Emily. And I betrayed her trust while telling myself it meant nothing. Just attention. Just ego. No real feelings involved. I told myself that story for a long time, until the day she looked at me and said, "I trusted you." And in that moment, I could not hide behind the story anymore. Because I saw in her eyes what I had actually done. I had taken someone who was completely open with me, someone who had chosen to be vulnerable with me, and I had treated that vulnerability like it did not matter, like she did not matter. My darlings, I am not telling you this to make you sympathize with me. I am telling you this so you understand something. The person who betrayed you did not do it because of you. They did it because of something broken inside them, something they had not faced, something they had not healed. I was broken in ways I did not understand yet, and instead of dealing with that, I made choices that hurt someone who deserved so much better. Emily deserved so much better, and I have had to live with that. I still do. But here is what I want you to hear. The person who betrayed you was carrying something they had not dealt with, and they chose the coward's way out. They chose to hide instead of heal. And that is on them, not on you, never on you. Mom always told me, character is what you do when no one is watching, and I failed that test for a long time. But I am telling you now, because the truth is the only thing that matters anymore.
My darlings, James just said something very important. Character is what you do when no one is watching. And I want to build on that. Because betrayal does not happen in one moment. Betrayal is built, brick by brick. Every small dishonesty. Every moment someone chose their comfort over your truth. Every time they looked at you and said nothing. And let me tell you something about revenge, because I know you have thought about it. When you have been betrayed, the thought comes, what if I did the same? What if I made them feel what they made me feel? What if I took back control by hurting them the way they hurt me? My darlings, I understand that thought. I had it myself after Marcus. For a brief moment, I thought about making him feel exactly what I felt. And then I stopped. Not because I was noble, not because I was above it, but because I realized something. Revenge does not close the wound. Revenge keeps you in the story, and the story is the problem. Every day you spend planning revenge is a day he still has power over you. Every moment you dedicate to making him suffer is a moment you are not building your own life. Revenge says, what he did to me still defines me. Healing says, what he did to me no longer has that power. My darlings, the best revenge is not revenge at all. The best revenge is becoming someone who no longer needs it. Someone who looked at the worst thing that happened to them and chose to grow from it instead of be consumed by it. I did not seek revenge on Marcus. I walked away, and I built a life with a man who would never make me need revenge. That was my answer. Not destruction, construction. Building something real with someone real. And Chester was that answer. Now I want to talk about something nobody discusses. How do you actually heal after betrayal? Not in theory, in practice. Step 1. You stop explaining. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your pain. You do not have to justify why you are devastated. You were betrayed. That is enough. Stop explaining yourself to people who were not there. Step 2. You feel it completely. Do not rush the grief. Do not perform healing you have not done yet. Cry. Be angry. Be lost. Let yourself feel the full weight of what happened, because only when you feel it fully can you begin to set it down. Step 3. You separate the event from your identity. What happened to you is not who you are. You were betrayed. You were not broken. You were not made lesser. You were wronged. And wronged people survive all the time. Step 4. You choose what you carry forward. You do not carry his name. You do not carry his apology or lack of it. You do not carry the fantasy of who he could have been. You carry only this. I survived it. I learned from it, and I will not repeat it. Step 5. You open again. This is the hardest one, because betrayal makes you want to close, to protect, to never trust again. But a closed heart cannot receive love. And you deserve love, real love, chosen love, Chester-level love. That kind of love requires an open heart, and an open heart requires courage. My darlings, be courageous, even after betrayal, especially after betrayal.
Mom just said something I want to hold on to. A closed heart cannot receive love. I learned this the hard way too. After I was betrayed, I closed. Not dramatically, not all at once, but slowly. I became very careful, very measured. I stopped letting people in completely. I kept just enough distance to feel safe. And for a while that felt like wisdom. It felt like I had learned my lesson. But then I met someone who was genuinely good, someone patient, someone consistent, someone who showed up the same way every single time, and I kept waiting for him to show me the thing I had missed before, the lie beneath the surface, the version of him that would eventually reveal itself. And he never did, because there was nothing to reveal. He was just good. And I almost lost him because I could not believe it, because my closed heart kept saying, "This is too easy. This feels too safe. Something must be wrong." My darlings, if you have been betrayed and you are now in something real, pay attention to that voice. The voice that says it is too good to be true. That voice is not wisdom. That voice is fear wearing the costume of wisdom. Real love does not feel like anxiety. Real love feels like relief. It feels like finally being able to breathe. And if you keep pushing away the person who makes you breathe, you will end up alone with your armor. And armor is very cold at night. Mom taught me this, slowly, over years, by watching her and Dad, by watching what real love actually looks like when it is quiet and consistent and completely without drama. I did not understand it when I was young. I understand it now, and I am so grateful I opened my heart again, even though it was terrifying. Even though it took everything I had, it was the best decision I ever made.
My darlings, Diana just said something that made my heart full. Because watching your daughter choose courage is one of the greatest gifts a mother can receive. Now I want to talk about one more thing before Chester closes us out. The question I get asked more than any other when it comes to betrayal. Should I forgive? My darlings, forgiveness is the most misunderstood word in the English language. People think forgiveness means what he did was acceptable, or I am letting him back in, or I am pretending it did not happen. Forgiveness means none of these things. Forgiveness means I am no longer willing to carry this. It is too heavy. It is costing me too much, and I choose to set it down. Not for him, for me. You do not forgive someone because they deserve it. You forgive someone because you deserve peace. And peace is impossible when you are still carrying the weight of what they did. I forgave Marcus, not because he asked. He never asked. Not because he earned it. He did not earn it. I forgave Marcus because I needed to be free, and holding on to what he did was keeping me in a prison of his making, and I refused to live there. My darlings, you do not have to forgive quickly. You do not have to forgive on a timeline. But at some point, for your own sake, choose to set it down. Choose your own freedom over their punishment, because they are not in prison. They moved on, and you deserve to move on too. Now Chester is going to say something, and I want you to listen carefully, because when a man who has never betrayed his wife in 41 years speaks about betrayal, it means something different. Chester.
I am not a man of many words. Loretta will tell you that. But I have a few things to say today, and I mean every one of them. I have never betrayed my wife, not once in 41 years, and people sometimes ask me how, as if it is some remarkable achievement, as if most men are betraying their wives and I somehow resisted a great temptation. My darlings, it was never temptation, because betrayal was never an option I considered, and here is why. When I chose Loretta, I chose her completely. Not the convenient version, not the easy version, not the version that suited me on good days. All of her, every sharp edge, every dramatic moment, every time she was too much for the room. I chose all of it. And when you make that choice fully, there is no room for betrayal. Betrayal happens when you have not fully chosen someone, when you are still keeping options open, when you have not made the decision all the way down. I made the decision all the way down. The day I decided Loretta was the woman I wanted to build my life with, everything else became irrelevant. Not because I am a saint, but because I knew what I had. and I was not willing to risk it for anything. My darlings, if you have been betrayed, I want to say something to you as a man. The man who betrayed you did not know what he had, or he knew and he chose poorly. Either way, that is his loss, not yours. A man who cannot keep his word to the woman he chose is a man who has not yet understood the value of what love really is, and that is a tragedy for him, not a reflection of your worth. You are worth keeping. You are worth choosing every single day. The right man will know that, and he will never make you doubt it. Loretta has never doubted it, not in 41 years, and she never will. Write it in the comments. Have you ever been betrayed, and how did you find your way through it? We are all here. We are all reading. See you in the next one. With love from all of us.